Hey, it's Laurel with the Dabbling Hook. How are you guys doing? Happy belated New Year. It is February 5th, and yeah, it's February 5th. It's 2026, and that's about it. Yep. So, I hope you guys had a good holiday season. Hope your New Year's was good. Or New Year, not New Year's. I meant to do a video after my last craft fairs, but you know, lifed again, and just work was busy and everything, and the usual, you know. So anyway, I'm looking over here because there's a bag full of stuff that I've made, and the table in front of me is covered in things. So this will be probably clip 1 to see how far I get. Minion 2 is playing his guitar. I don't know if it's gonna come through. I can hear it, but it's not super loud. But anyway, this is going to be clip 1, hopefully of maybe 2 or 3 clips, depending on how far I get, of the things I've made. Like I said, I meant to do a video before this, but it just didn't happen. But I'm still making. I'm always making. It's my sanctuary. It's my peace of mind. It's my me time. Yarn is life, Hazy. It totally is. I have a shirt. I think I got her a shirt that says Yarn is life too, and I got myself one. But anyway, Yarn is life. The patterns will be down below in the PDF, which I will now include in all my videos, or the link to the PDF, or a Google Doc, whichever it is. It's a running document. I'm just adding patterns to it. I'm trying to categorize it by, I forget what I started categorizing it by, but it'll be there because I'm not going to remember all the designers and such. So let's start with what's closest to me, or which is more prominent. It's green yarn. Unicorns. I made a unicorn because I partook in last fall, I think it was around last fall, maybe from the summer and fall, when Hirschner's and Mary Maxim was having sale, lots of clearance sale. Probably, you know, leftovers from the Joanne going out of business stuff. But anyway, I bought a lot of blanket yarn, let's just say, and a lot of clearance type colors, so I'm trying to use it. But, oh, the other thing I meant to say, 2 things. One, hey, if you're new here, thanks for visiting. I hope you subscribe, but if you don't, I hope you enjoy what I'm about to show you. The other thing is that, 2 more things actually after that. One, my last video was the winter hop, where I mentioned about, you know, contacting Kim about if you wanted to participate, not realizing that I hadn't read her last email. I'd seen it, but I hadn't read it, where she was no longer doing the hop. So last year was the last year, getting that out there. And then the other thing is, this year I'm not doing any alongs or any formal alongs or anything like that. But I'm trying really hard to use up my acrylic stash that I have, along with all my other yarns, but the acrylics especially, because I don't use it as much because, you know, blanket yarn, and I'm a chunky girl, and in more ways than one. But I have a lot of scraps of worsted, number 5, all of it, and I'm trying to use it up. So January was me putting in a really big effort to use up scraps. And I forgot to bring hats that I made. So I've been using the scraps. I kind of categorize it with the number 6 blanket type chenille yarns, and I doubled some when they weren't, you know, quite that size. I made balls out of them, or I categorize or put everything together. I still have a bit of yarn that's like mixed fibers, and I'm not sure what to do with those. I'm always hesitant to make things with those, you know, in case anyone has allergies or whatever, but I need to do something with it. And I have a bit of it. But anyway, that was January. It was relaxed. It was just doing what I wanted to do, not really focusing on craft fair makes, although things will end up going into craft fair inventory, but you know. And the other reason for doing this is that I need to tag and bag these things so that I am not rushed at the end. I need to make the video, take photos where I need to, and then tag them, put them in inventory in my payment system, and then put them away so I'm not inundated around the end. I do have 2 craft fairs I've signed up for the spring. One mid-May, and then the other one early June. The other one that I did, the mid-May one, is a new one. And I was hoping to do 3, but the one that was early May, Minion 1 is graduating. I cannot believe it already. So, from college. So, I'm pretty sure that spring craft fair is the same date as his graduation. So, that's going to be a no. Anyway, all that to say, let me get back to a regularly scheduled reason for being here. So anyway, one of the yarns that I bought, I can't remember if I bought it at Joann, or I'm pretty sure it's one of the ones I bought online, because it's that older, spongier, thicker blanket yarn. So I mentioned unicorns way back when. I used to make them quite a bit. I hadn't made them in a while, and then I think I made 2 last year, which both sold. And I've been meaning to make a couple more. So I went to my stash, which had grown so much that I had to store it in my basement. And I pulled out this green. I think I have like maybe 3 or 4 of the blanket skeins of this green. I definitely have 1 more, maybe 2 more. But anyway, this is the unicorn from whom? I don't remember. I found it on Pinterest. It'll be down below. I think it's a free pattern somewhere that somebody translated maybe, and because all the steps are there for all the parts, but it doesn't really give you, does it? I think so. I don't remember. It didn't have all the directions in it. It did tell you where to, anyway, here's the unicorn. The one in the pattern picture is, I think it's done in like number 5, like Parfait Chunky, which lists at number 6. It's not a number 6. Much lighter pastel-y colors, but I wanted something different because, you know, I like color. So the pattern also has like fluffy, not fluffy, like eyelash type yarn for the hair, and I didn't want to do that. I did that to one last year, which I'm pretty sure sold. But I decided to do my own thing. So I just, instead of just doing, you know, putting in the strands and knotting it, I attach, chained, and do the curly Q. This green, these 2 different greens are Parfait Chunky. And this one is Burnette Blanket. And the muzzle and accent color is Blanket Frosting. The one that I got for, was it $2.50 at Walmart last year? So there's that. This is the gray, not gray, it's like the beigey speckly colorway. So I did that with curly Qs and 2 green colors that I had in Parfait Chunky, and then this is also Parfait Chunky Mushroom. I forget what, I think it's mint and sage or something. I forget the colorways, but this is mushroom. So I did that, and then on each side I did just a, not the curly Q, I just chained and single crocheted back, kind of. So it just has like a, kind of like a braided strand on each side. So yeah. And then the horn is just some Red Heart Super Saver, I think, in gold. Not gold. Saffron, whatever color, but that's that. So yeah. Everything is crocheted in as far as the limbs, and you have to sew on the head and the ears and of course the horn. But not bad. Easy enough. I think doing these took just as long as doing the whole thing. So there's that. one down. So that's the skein of the green color from Bernat Blanket, and it's again the spongy, thicker old texture. And then I had some left, so I decided to make another dragon Diddy Dex. Now I modify it slightly. Actually, I added, I think, either 1 or 2 extra rounds to make the snout a little longer because I kind of like that. And then I added increases up here a little more because when I make it, mine never quite looks like in the pattern, so I decided to just modify it. I also do not make the tiny little horns, which I can't stand doing. I think it starts with like 4, which, so, excuse me. So I just attach and I do whatever. I change it all the time how I do the horns. This time I attached chain 3. I did a 3 double crochet cluster, and then when I closed the cluster I chained 2 and did a little picot, and then chained 2 and slip stitch back down. So if I remember, because like I said, I change it up all the time because I never remember what I did the last time. So that's what I did with most of what was left of the green, and it's blowing out because I'm by the window. And then I used some basics chenille, the tie-dye. I had a little bit of leftover from, I think I had made a Diddy Dex last year, so I had a little bit left over. So I made the wings and the little horn up here out of it. And the eyes are, I don't know if it'll show up, but oh, I don't know, I don't think you can see it. It's not showing up, but in there are little star sparkles and stuff like that. Basically, I hand painted those myself. So Diddy Dex, there's that. And then I still had some more of that yarn, and I was watching, I forget what her name is. She's a young girl. She's out of Florida, I'm pretty sure. But I'm not subscribed to the channel, but every once in a while it pops up, so I watch. And she was talking about, oh, I think Minion 1 is home visiting. Okay, I'm back, and he's over there futzing with the camera. But anyway, what was I saying? The green yarn. That was the other one. The YouTuber, something Cortez. Anyway, she showed Dino. They do good. They do well for me. On and off. 2024 they did well. 2025 fall season not so much. But I decided to make one because I just seen her. I had yarn to use up, so it's seriously blown out, very blown out. But there's that. This is just some, I don't think it's Bernat Blanket. This is Premier Basics as well. So is it Basics? Yeah. Anyway, so there's that. The only thing you have to make and sew is the tail onto it, and then do the scales, horns, spikes, that. So that's 3 things with the green. Let's see. I made some strawberries with some chenille home slim that I had. I totally forgot. I had leftover cake. So I made 2 small sizes, I guess, and then 2 medium, 2 large sizes. Each of them had, this has Mystical as the top, and this one has the green, which is so blown out. Nope, it's just blown out, but they sort of look like they may be the same, but they're not. Mystical, and this is the green Bernat Blanket. Like I said, Home Slim, which is no longer. It had the saturated colors. The Sweet Snuggles has more of the pastel-y baby colors. I think I heard somebody say they're starting to put out some semi-bright colors, but the good saturated colors was in Home Slim. But so that's the green. And then the last of the green, I think I ended up with maybe like a foot, 18 inches left. But the little bit I had left, I made a little octo. So, one skein of yarn completely used up, trying not to have so much of the scraps. And you're gonna hear Minion 1 come back. This is the Premier Yarns, the Stash, the Distressed Kim. Very distressed. I had this, I used this in a few things last year and I had a little bit left. So I just made a little leggy, baby leggy frog. So, I followed somebody's pattern, but it's basically the leggy frog just shortened. So, there's that. Non-amigurumi. Again, I'm trying to use up my... What's the matter?
I don't want to make a bunch of noise. I'm trying to wrap this thing back up. I'm
All
fine,
right.
I'll come in the video.
You need to show off your camera, so go
It's
ahead.
not for me. I got a camera.
He bought Minion 3 a camera.
It's not for me.
He's all excited. So I'm gonna pause while he rustles. Okay, real quick, because this one's going away, so I have to record. This is, I don't remember by who. This is the second time I've made that. Last time was in a smaller yarn, but another unicorn. I did not do the curlies. I just did, what did I just do? I just chained. So, looks like it has dreads or something, but it's purple. It's the Bernat frosting yarn, and this is Chanel, no, not Home Slim, Sweet Snuggles in a lavenderish purplish color here. And then Dollar Tree yarn for the horn, and I just wound up some sparkly yarn around it. Oh, you can see the sparkle right there. So there's that, and it's gonna go bye-bye as somebody's birthday present. Somebody's standing waiting for it right now, so okay, he's gone. So that unicorn is not going in stash, so I forgot about a birthday, so there it is. Good timing. One of the upsides to being a maker. All right, what was I talking about? Non-amigurumi. Trying to use up my stash. I try to get rid of the yarns, but it's really hard. I can get rid of everything else. I can divest. Yeah, I don't need this, but when it comes to the yarn, it's really hard to part with it. So I'm using it. So I had some yarn that I've used. I made a hat for a coworker. I made a hat for my father. I made something else, and I still had quite a bit because Miss Canadian Crotcheta, hi Deb, had gifted me, I think it was like a 6-pack of this yarn. I can't remember how many, but she had gifted me. But it's a woodsy, camo-ish type yarn. I think it is, I thought it was a Premier yarn. I don't have the band anymore, but I just basically turn them into, on the circular machine, turn them into headbands, and none of them are, what do you call it, cinched like that. I do my cinch differently. I don't put waste yarn. I just take it off as if you're going to do a hat and pull it tight, but I pull it only a certain, you know, a certain amount of width, and then I carefully stitch them together. So I have 4 of those. I think I have 2 left from previous inventory. And then I had some loops and threads, Impeccable, I think it was Impeccable, but it was in an off-white color. I bought it for something else. It didn't work out, and it was just sitting there, and it was the perfect opportunity to, oh my gosh, there you go. I think that's better to use it. So out of what was left of the skein, I ended up with 3 of the headbands, and what else? I had a little bit left that I used in some other scrap projects, in some chickens actually. Was it loops and threads? I think it was loops and threads. I had a lot left, and I used it in other things. And then this yarn, I forget the name of it. I have it in another whip. I'm knitting a hat, but I bought it because it was on clearance at Michael's. Clearance gets me every time. But this one barely made it through. Ooh, eyelash. Barely made it through the machine. It's too thick. It's just dropping stitches, the whole thing. So I was able to get one, and I tried 3 times with the rest of it to try to get a second one. It didn't work. I also bought a beige background color one, and the machine was like, no, I don't think so. So it didn't work. So I'm using it to knit a hat. And then at one of my craft fairs, somebody had asked about blue and these, and she actually ended up ordering. She had bought stuff for me at one of the fairs, contacted me later, and wanted headbands to give to each of her either granddaughters or somebody in the family. So I had to go buy more blue, and I bought this. This is one of the Karen cakes. I think the Blossom Cake, I think. And I made headbands. She ended up buying, instead of 1 more, she ended up buying 3 more. So I used the rest and make a little hat. So it's a small child-sized toddler hat, or really small adult human, which I have a couple of customers who have really tiny heads. So there's that. That is non-amigurumi. Let me go get the other hat since I'm doing the scrap hats that I did, and I will be right back. So 2 of these are not scraps. This is I think the last. No, I may have about half of these two different colorways left, but this is Woolies Tonal. Basically it's the bulky version, the number 5 version of the Woolies. You have Thick and Quick. They came out with Tonal, and then they came out with just Woolies, the regular worsted one. Not came out, they have. But the Tonal was a thing for a while, and I had, I think, most of the colorways. And I think when it was being discontinued, I don't remember from where, but I bought a bunch. It's been in my stash for a while. So last year I knitted hats, either 1x1, 2x2, 3x2, whatever I felt at the time. And I think I sold 4 of them at fairs last year. So I thought I was all done with the yarn, and I was moving stuff around. Of course, it multiplied in the back. So I had 1 red skein left, and it wasn't until I was well halfway done I realized I cast it on too many because it's very loose. So it may do for somebody who wants a loose hat, or for a guy out there. I sold this exact colorway. It's totally blown out on camera. It's red, but it's not as in-your-face red as shown on camera. But at my last craft fair, is it the last craft fair? Oh, the one before the last. This girl, woman, bought one. It's a little smaller than this. She tried on a couple, and she came back to this one, or this colorway, a couple of times, and she ended up buying it, putting it on, and walking out with it on, which always gives me a thrill. But same thing, this one is just a little bigger, and for this one I did a 4-point decrease on there instead of just, you know, the multiples decrease. So is that a little wide or a little big? And then because I went big, I went a little smaller on this one, but it's a 2x2 and it looks small, but it stretches like crazy, so it's really not too small. Maybe in height if you want to cuff it, but then it'll be beanie style rather than slouchy head style. But so this is the red one, and I forget what colorways these are called, but brown 2x2, red 1x1. Woolies Tonal. So I have a little bit left. I think out of what's left of each of this colorways, I don't think it gives me a full skein, so I just may make like a kid size one out of that. All right, I mentioned scraps. It's gonna be my month of really buckling down and using the scraps, and I think I did a really good job at it, but again, it keeps multiplying. It's like the more I use, the more it seems to be there, and it's not even new scraps that I've created, it just keeps coming. But let's see, one of the first ones I did, I made a ball of worsted weight yarn doubled, and I just kept tying them, and whatever I had, I went through my stash, like really went through my stash, and just doubled up the yarns. And this is one, everything is so blown out, but that is one right there. And this is the scrap hat where I like this side right here, where you don't cut off the ends, which saves so much time. You don't have to worry about it. So I think I ended up selling one scrap hat last year, but I have this one, and this one I did in single crochets, and this is where, is it single? Yes, this is where you, I use a single crochet, and you make your first row, you come back, and then when you come back the third time, you stop like 2 stitches short, you go back, come down, come back, stop another 2 stitches until you kind of have like a step, and then on that final row you go all the way down, so it makes the sections. So I like that way. I also like where you just do, say you do half double crochets, and then the last 5 or so you do single crochets or what have you to taper it a bit, but I kind of like this this process here. So nice thick, it's single crochet, so it's very sturdy and warm. And then this one, what did I use? I don't know if I use single crochets as well. I can't even tell. Yep, I think I did single crochets, a little shorter one. Again, my ball of scraps doubled, my worsted scraps doubled, so there's that. This is gonna find a home with somebody, you know, the adventurous guy, because it has glitter yarn in there, but it's neutral enough, it could be for anybody, and scrappy enough. And then I had the hometown that I use for my cowls, that I had scraps, lots of scraps, because one of the things I make a lot for the fall. So I took all the colors and just let them go, let them end wherever they end, not worrying about the ties or anything. So that's such a time saver to just tie it on and don't even bother with it. So I just saw Crystal of Chronically Crocheting. Hey Crystal. She just showed one too. These I started at the end of December and into January. But she made it where she, I guess, weaved in the ends on the inside. So if you want to flip it, one side has ends, one side doesn't, but I can't be bothered. I couldn't be bothered. So that is the hometown. It's a little, again, another thick one. And this one, I'm pretty sure I used single crochets. Yeah. And here I used half double crochets. So this one is my number 5 bulky or really heavy worsted weight yarn. So, and I had, as you can see, some bigger sections of these. For most of the colors I had bigger leftovers of them, so there's that. So scrap hats, there's something for everybody here. Awesome. I think I'm going to take my leftovers that are mixed fiber and do this anyway, and just make sure I label it that it's it contains wool. But I don't want to have it just sitting there, and I don't know if I even have enough to make a full hat out of that type of scrap that I have, but we'll see. One thing I did make, back to amigurumi, and then I have one more clothing item. Every year, I didn't do it 2024, I think, because I didn't have time. But for the last few years, I try to do a card in make an octo in some like a character type octo. So I've done the Grinch, I've done the I think I did a Santa one, I did a Christmas tree one, I did gnomes, and this year I almost didn't do it, but I did it at the last minute. And for those of you who got a card from me, you'll see writing on the back because I did it very last minute, and I had a little typo in there where I think I had a word repeated in there. That's why it says it's twice as something on the back of it, because I picked it up late on my way back from work, and it wasn't until I got home an hour later I'm looking, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. So lesson learned, don't rush. If I have to rush that much, it wasn't meant to be. But anyway, this was my reindeer octo that I made for my Christmas card this year. So yep, so he'll go in my inventory bin that's, you know, holiday-ish themes that, you know, it doesn't come out till maybe like September, October, mostly October, November, but there's that. And then it's gonna be a little crinkling because I'd already put this away, and I realized that I didn't take a good picture of it, but my mother-in-law's birthday is coming up end of next month, and the hexi-cardi that I made for the winter hop, when she was here for Christmas, she saw it and she was intrigued, and then I'm like, oh, you want to try it on? And she's first thing she said was how much, and I was like, oh, I was taken aback because I wasn't planning on selling it. So I'm like, no, it's not for sale. And this one is really, it's a heavy one too, because I'd use number 5, is it number 5? Roving style alpaca blend yarn. But anyway, I'm like, oh, I can make her one. And it gave me a good reason to use up some of the red heart yarn that I had. So I ended up making her own hexi-cardi for her birthday. She has no idea, and she'll get it at the end of the month. I even, I didn't wash it, but I did put it in the dryer with a damp towel to kind of soften up the fiber. And I put it on a low dryer setting with a damp towel, just to relax the fibers a bit. But and this one, for the one I made for the winter hop, I meant to seam it with in the stitch pattern. Instead, I totally forgot, and I started slip stitching it together. So this one, I made sure I did the seaming in pattern. So, and her favorite color is yellow as well. So there it is. This is the Bitty Stripes. I love the colors in that. Say what you want about Red Heart yarns, especially Super Saver, but the colorways can't be beat. Can't be beat. But this Bitty Stripe is not, the screen is not doing it justice, but doesn't it blend just perfectly? This is the gold colorway, which I think is discontinued because it was, I couldn't find it anywhere on the regular sites, and where I did find it, they were asking like ridiculous amount, even on Amazon for it, and even places where it was a regular skein, they're asking like $9 for a regular skein. So that tells me that it's discontinued, the colorway. I think now they might have replaced it with saffron, which is very close to the same color. Not quite. But so I only had, I think, maybe 3/4 of a skein, so or maybe it's close to a full skein. So I use that. So that's that yellow color here. So Bitty Stripe, I try to start them both at the same spot in the Bitty Stripe so they match as close as possible. And then I have this really old skein of buff colorway with Super Saver, so that's the beigey color in there. Yep, and then I trimmed it in the Bitty Stripe. I ended up going to buy more Bitty Stripe because I thought I wouldn't have enough. That and the gold, and I ended up buying a saffron, a Bitty Stripe, and more buff. And I bought Michael's brand as well because I was trying to match the color. So me trying to downsize the stash, I just added more to it. But I am making a 6-day star blanket, and I'm going to use the Red Heart Super Saver to do that. So it's going to be a mishmash of colors. But yeah, this is hers. The sleeves Not as tapered as mine, because I couldn't gauge. With me, I could put mine on and gauge where I wanted, but since this is a gift, I should have decreased a little sooner. But I didn't decrease over stitches. I just used different hooks, smaller hook sizes as I went to do my decrease. And then this is where the bitty stripe didn't quite match, but you know, I try to start as close as possible, but it's close enough. It gives a character. So that will be her birthday at the end of next month. And she is crochet and knit worthy because she always wears the things that I've given her. She's even quote unquote stolen things from the donation pile when she sees it. So yeah, she has a scarf that every once in a while when I see her with it, I remember, oh, I had put that in a donation pile and she grabbed it. So she is knit worthy and crochet worthy. All right, so that's it for clothing. What else? I am going to show a couple more, then I'm going to stop for a bit and then I'll do another, but to you will be a blip, but I have to pause for a little bit. Okay, next one is a cowl. It is a Madeline Mako, although her name changed to something and Jones, or I can't remember, but her name changed. It's no longer Madeline Mako, unless that's there, because I thought she had 2 Etsy shops. But anyway, when I bought it, it was Madeline Mako. This is her classic cowl pattern. It's really tiny because I used that skinny chenille from Hirschner's, the Soho Mystical, and I doubled it and it's still tiny. I want to remake that in blanket yarn or the Posh yarn to see how big it would come out, but I don't have cowl colors, but I figured I'll just make it in whatever colors anyway. But how cute is that? Look how tiny it is. Oh my gosh. I almost didn't make the overall, and I'm so glad I did because it is just so stinking cute. So this is the Soho Mystical doubled for the main color, and then for the accent color, which is very light, it's the mushroom from Parfait Chunky, and then so you know, the patches and stuff, it's all in there. But it's so cute, so cute. The head looks a little small, but the whole overall vibe I'm loving. The overall I did in Just Chenille, the Dollar Tree Just Chenille Premier, single-stranded, of course, because it was thick enough. But oh, it's so stinking cute. Yep. So that's that. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back again. All right, next in the scrap, I'm gonna call it my scrap wars because I'm battling the scraps. Okay, damn it dolls. Let's see, I didn't know about Damn It dolls until, oh Jesus, what's her name in Florida? I can't believe I'm forgetting her name. I'm having a menopause moment where I can't, it'll come to me. But she did the Damn It dolls, and then she did the sewn ones, and then I think on Rose's channel, Rose Likes Crochet, hey Rose, she had mentioned them again. I'm like, oh, perfect thing to use the scraps. I think it was Rose's channel, or maybe I saw somebody else who did a scrap video and Damn It dolls were part of it. Either way, like I said, I pulled all my blanket yarn scraps at first, and then when I ran out of that, I doubled up the chenille from the Dollar Tree. But Damn It dolls, I wish I could hit it right now because I'm having that kind of day. But let's see if it'll focus closer. So there's this one. The hair, what did I do for that one? For the hair on this one, I did loop stitches, and then I went back and clipped them so that they're separated. That way I didn't have to do individual strands. So I just, you know, as I was crocheting the top close, I just, no, is it closed? No. I attached, and then I did a row of loop stitches and then clipped them for the hair. on that one, if it'll focus on that, which it doesn't want to. Do 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 do. I think I have to get really close. I might have touched something when Minion 1 was here, so it's not focusing. But anyway, that's what I did. So started with some gold color, some like off-white bone color, and it just, you know, all the scraps. You can see here I had smaller bits of them. And I used this one, and then I finished it up here with the leg, so definitely scrappy. That was one. And then this one, what did I do with the hair? I think this one I did the loops. Might have been the first one I did. I did the loops. Or cut the yarn and then attach them with a knot. So this is it's not avocado, goblin color for the, what's it called? Parfait Chunky. I really love that green. So that, it's got different legs, just very scrappy. I need to print out the little saying to attach to it so people know what they are. Or maybe I might just do a one-pager so that they can read what it is and then buy the doll, but who knows. And then, I did this one first. This one what did I do? I attached each, what did I do? I attached the yarn and then I just chained and then fastened off. And then wherever I attach it, I just left the ends. I didn't bother. So it's very crazy. So it's just chains and then ends are hanging out. So very scrappy. Crooked leg there. So yeah. And this is where I think I at first ran out of the blanket yarn, so I started doubling up the Dollar Tree yarns for the arms, and then I did that, the Dollar Tree yarns. Over here is some Goblin, you can see it better. Goblin held with some Dollar Tree yarn, but it's all Dollar Tree yarn. And then I found that I did have a little bit of blanket yarn somewhere, found scraps. Like I said, they just keep multiplying and just appearing. So there's that. The tutorials that I see sew on the arms, but I make the arms first and then I crochet them in as I go. So there's no sewing at all. And when I ran out of those, all the Dollar Tree and the blanket yarn, I pulled out my hometown yarn that I made the hat out of. So I did that. So all different. This one's a little stiffer and not as plush. And I don't like the eyes here because I couldn't get anything to show up well on the gray. So I'm gonna redo that because I don't like the eyes. I think I did it in black at first and it wasn't showing up, so I added this color on top of the black. And then this was a variegated yarn I used for the mouth, I think. Did I? Yeah. So I'm not thrilled with the look of this one. Ooh, I just realized it's because I never put hair on it. Oh my gosh, I gotta do that. I totally forgot that. All right, so there's that. Let's see what I can get through before I have to power down. The next thing, last year, and it's probably just because I started noticing it. Ooh, I'm missing one. Did I do the third one? Maybe I didn't finish it. I'll be right back. Okay, it just fell. So flowers were things that I was seeing a lot last year in videos, and maybe I just happened upon a couple of people who were doing it and the algorithm just started showing me flowers. I'm like, oh, like I used to make flowers all the time, like put it on hats and whatever, and then I stopped. But then like I think there's one maker, like the most of her stuff is around making flower bouquets, And I'm like, oh, that's gonna be time consuming. But then I'm like, let me just give it a try, because somebody else had shown it too. And again, it might have been Rose, who followed a secret yarnery pattern. So I went and looked at hers, as well as a whole bunch of other people. And they're pretty much all very similar. So I followed the secret yarnery for these, and I just happened to have this skein of yarn, again, trying to use up the stash. So this is it a Red Heart? I don't even remember what yarn this was. It was either a Red Heart or Michael's yarn. Is it even Joanne's? One of them. So I made this one, and hers, she makes the little, I forget what it's called. It's not the stamen, right? But anyway, the bottom part of it. And then I didn't have skewers, and I didn't want to buy knitting needles because they come in a variety of sizes, and I didn't want a whole bunch of sizes. So I went to look for skewers, and I thought they were too thin. So at Walmart I found these bamboo stakes, and I think they're a little too thick, but they're sturdier, so I had to cut it. I was able to get 3 out of one stake. So I made that one, and then I hot glued in, you know, intermittent sections as I was twirling the yarn around the stem. I had to go to Dollar Tree to get green because I didn't have any green worsted weight. Surprise, surprise. So then I made a different size. Once I got her pattern, you know, I can just adjust the size as I see fit. So I made that one, and then I made that one, and that one. So 4 sizes. I'm tempted to make some red ones just to have some variety and bring it to my spring fairs to see how they go. Yeah, I don't even know how much I would sell them for, but I think they would make a good conversation piece. Forever flowers. Flowers you can't kill. Flowers you can't kill. I did years and years ago, made my mom a bouquet. It's a pot that you crocheted, and then you crochet the flowers and sew them on. And then one year I made a large flower for for my sister, my cousin, my sister-in-law. I think it was the 3 of them at the time, and my mom, for 1 year. But it's been a long time since I made flowers, but pretty cool. So there's that. I was contemplating adding leaves to it, but I'm like, nah, I'll just leave it at that. But I will see what I have for a red worsted weight, and most likely I'll make some. So, roses. I'm going to show you a couple more things, and then I might save the rest for tomorrow, because I have a bunch of scrap yarn that I made. What did I make? Chickens, a whole bunch of chickens from scrap yarn, as well as other little monsters. So, alright, last 2 for now. This is going to be long, by the way. It's been a while. This is another Madeline Mako pattern, I'm pretty sure. Yes, and this is one of her cows, and I don't remember which one it is, but wow, it's just totally blown out. Nope. That helps just a tiny bit, but it's all white, and the muzzle is pink, all Bernat blanket yarn, and I've got fluff on it everywhere. But yeah, simple, regular cow, and yeah, even the horns are, it's all Bernat blanket basically. Ah, there you go. So yeah, nice and easy. I want to make at least one more cow because I have that tiny one. See how tiny it is. It's like its friend. Its plaything. Ah, it's so cute. But that little skinny chenille yarn, yeah, I cannot use it. I don't know how you guys use it on its own. I have to double it at least. But the next thing I make with it, I'm going to triple it. I'm planning to make a bunny I want at least 2 for the spring fairs, but we'll see. So there's the cow, and then the last thing I'm going to show you for now, oh, maybe one after that, but anyway, the mini anchor. I wanted to make this forever, but it's a lot of work, and so I'm like, I'll just start with the mini because I got the patterns. And then I use the frosting, Bernat frosting that I got for dirt cheap. And the only thing is, you could see the eye, and I thought it was just me, but I did see a couple other people who had made it, and they had the same, I saw the same issue where the eyes were not the same size, and it's hard to see. Oh, there you go, hard to see, but it's a little misshapen. But then again, gives a character. You know, nothing is symmetrical. But yeah, I used the frosting in that brownish tannish colorway on the bottom, and then the like the green blue colorway on the top. So, but yeah, it's a lot of work. And the giant one is, you know, these are even longer, so goodness gracious, that'll take a while. But most of the work is this, and then the rest of it is not too bad, but it's these. So yeah, mini anchor. I do want to make the big one, but not right now. Okay, I said that was the last, but I'm just going to show you these two, and then that'll be it for now. Let's see. Seta, hey Seta, she put out a video, a little drawstring bag. Very simple. I know how to make a drawstring bag, but I figured I'll just watch a video and make it. And first I saw Pam also made it as well, so I'm like, oh, I had yarn sitting on my desk, and trying to use up my scraps, I found a project bag. I was trying to make, what was I gonna make? I think I was gonna make one of the cocoon shrugs, and I don't like those. I hate the way it cups under your posterior. And I don't like the billowy bagginess of it anyway. So I started it in some cotton yarn that I had. I think it was the cotton poly blend, and I ran out, and I know I was searching like Michael's and everywhere for yarns that would kind of go with it. And just looking in the bag, I tried, and some of the yarns are like stretchy and bouncy, whereas the cotton is not, so it wouldn't work. And it's been sitting there, it has to be for a good 3-4 years. So I'm reclaiming the cotton yarn. So, and it reminds me why I don't like working with cotton yarn, because it's rough on the hands. But I decided to follow Seta's tutorial and make the bag. I did go up, increase the size, which is easy to do because it's a fairly standard increase. So, oh, I wish everything, oh, there you go. It's not focusing, of course, but hers, she uses like chenille type yarns for the little fluffy top part, the flowery part, but you hold 2 strands together for the base and halfway up, and then you go just to one of the colors and 1 strand, and then yeah, make a drawstring, and then you do the fluffy part. So I did that. Hers does not have the string, the handle. I added that on because I figured if I just made it a drawstring, I'm hoping, you know, the little girls at spring will fancy these. So I wanted them to have something to carry it by. So then I made another one. Like I said, I have a whole, almost, I think 3/4 size of the garment was done, or at least the panel was done. So now I have to reuse all that cotton yarn. But I made this one in the dark green from here. I just doubled the dark green. In hers, I'm trying to see which one it is. One of them, I did it just the way she did it, and in this one, I did a linked, yep, I did a linked double crochet on the base to see if it would come out any different. And not really, but, and then I striped it. Instead of just going for one color, because I think I was running out of the green, so I just striped it to use it all up. And then I added that. Oh, and I used the rose color to add the top to it. So again, a little variety. One white. I'm hoping to make a couple more of these with the yarn. The little shrug cocoon thing I was making, it was all in blues and greens, so mostly green, so I'll be using that. I might even end up knitting a couple of dishcloths because I did that with some of the yarns, cotton yarns I had before, just to use it and do something different. So 2 little drawstring bags. I'm going to tag that and hopefully get to tag these and put away. Try to take some pictures, but I've got too much going on. Can't be bothered, but like I said, I have a whole bag still of stuff to show you that I've been making, but that will be in the next clip or the next clip, whenever. So this is already very long. All right, I'll talk to you guys. I'll see you in the next one.